There we go. All right, it's 6 o'clock, top of the hour. Are we starting the recording?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's call to order here and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very well. All right. Well, we are going to go, in convenience of it, I get that, but we're going to go to an executive session to discuss potential litigation. Litigation is allowed by RCW 42-30-110, and we'll be in the executive session until 6:30 for about 30 minutes. And we will take we'll be taking no action as commissioners regarding any potential litigation following the executive session. We may take further action following the executive session, but not during the executive session, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. So go ahead and we can stop recording. We're going to go into the executive session. Sir Ken? Yep. All right, we're recording?
Yes.
Okay, we've gone ahead and secured our executive session.
Recording in progress.
We've gone ahead and secured our executive session at 6:30 and move into, we'll call this the regular meeting back to order right now. And then, yeah, we'll go with public comment right now. Anybody wants to speak up?
Mr. Carey just called me and said he was trying to log in.
Okay.
So, but I do have a public comment.
Okay.
Good evening, Commissioners. Ken Van Busker, Belfair. After listening to the last few minutes of the special meeting last Thursday, I was disappointed. I sent you an email on Friday asking that you not put the port taxpayers and yourself at risk mitigating the hazard trees. I sent emails and I had phone conversations with both RCO and DNR agency reps. The public was not fully informed before you approved the volunteer waiver of liability for trail stewardship in conjunction with potential hazardous tree removal. Maps and briefing materials were not provided to the public at that special meeting. The stewardship grant and the sponsor were not explained well, and I discovered that it was not sponsored by the port and now believe it was sponsored by WDFW. Upon further research, I've requested of the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group the project outcomes that must be available to the public per RCW 77-100. As the property owner, you too should have been fully aware of these outcomes before approving any waiver of liability. It's no different than what happened with the demolition and the asbestos issue. In fact, there has not been any attempts to seek public involvement and input on any design and planned trail development on the port property. From all appearances, it seems that it was totally done by the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group, the former owner, the port's executive director, and a single or maybe a couple of the port directors. The 22 Memorandum of Agreement between the port and the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group obligates the port to sponsor the grants and take ownership of the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group property. In the past 10 years, the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group has submitted with the port's current sponsorship 5 different grants for the Sweetwater project, totaling with match $6.5 million. None of those grants have been awarded. Incidentally, the cooperative agreement between the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group and the DNR that was associated with the structured demolition and asbestos incident expired, and I doubt it will ever be renewed. The memorandum, in my opinion, has been breached more than once, and it's past time to terminate. It is also time to remove the project from the port's comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements. For the last 8 years, I've provided comments regarding the property still being on the Department of Ecology contaminated site list. I'll reserve the last of my comments for good of the order, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you.
Unless you'll allow me to read it now.
No, let's just
Okay.
stick with protocol. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. All right. All right. So,
Mr. Carey has raised
Miss-
his hand.
okay, yeah, go ahead there, Mr. Carey.
Yeah, hi, good evening, Commissioners. So I brought to the port's attention that the port is in violation of the settlement agreement, where we were forced to sue the port for violating the Public Records Act, the Open Public Meetings Act, as well as violating civil rights. The port ended up settling that agreement with us. We didn't want to sue the port. We had to sue the port. We finally got the document. We tried to settle this for $5,000. The port, I think, spent about $220,000 defending. We spent about $20,000 ourselves. The port ended up having to pay us $30,000. And I think the port, like I said, spent about $200,000 in defense costs. And that's never been discussed in open public meeting. You guys need to discuss it. Now, I met with Travis in good faith last year. I said, look, Travis, we don't want to sue the port. We don't want the port to spend money. You're on life support. It's been on life support. And we tried to let the port, we were hoping when we settled the agreement that, or when we settled the lawsuit, that the port would operate in good faith. Now, unfortunately, Larry passed away and then Leanne passed away. But since that settlement agreement was signed, the port has knowingly violated that agreement on multiple occasions. And we brought it to the port's attention that it's done that. And we've asked the port to not do that and also to satisfy or basically resolve our concerns for violation by paying us a monetary sum. Now, that sum was a lot higher when I first started, but because of Travis, and I understand Travis and I, we had a good meeting, good conversation. So I think I agreed to settle for about $5,000. And the reason I'm talking about this in an open public meeting is because it seems like the port's doing everything they can to keep this not transparent. So I think I put an offer out there for $5,000, and that it would be a requirement for the port to admit it violated the settlement agreement, apologize, and then we'd have an hour discussion about that settlement agreement in the open public for the public to see. Something that's never been done. This is a big deal. And I mean, I guess informally, it looks like the port has refused to accept my offer. And I did reach out to your attorney, Tim. I think his name is Tim. And we'll be getting him something in writing, but we're going to be getting it to you guys too, because we want to work in open transparency so the public can see what's going on. Anyway, it was my goal to work with just you guys and not involve the port spending money with the attorney. And unfortunately, it looks like we're going to work with the port's attorney and the guy's going to have to spend money. We do have mandatory mediation, which we believe the port was in violation of, but we're going to move forward in that and try to get this mediation moved forward. I'm going to guess the port's not going to resolve this in mediation, which is going to force me to sue the port in Mason County Superior Court. I don't want to do that. So just for the record, I don't want to sue the Port of Allyn for violating the settlement agreement. So I'll get something to you guys in writing. Now, Mike, you weren't involved in signing that settlement agreement, but
Brad Carey,
you are a commissioner.
that's your 3 minutes, if you would, please.
Okay, I'll wrap it up. Mike, just get familiar with the settlement agreement and then do your due diligence. Even if it puts you at odds with the two other commissioners, do your due diligence. Thank you guys. Good night, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Brad Carey.
All right. Is there any other public comment online there?
Cedarland?
No.
It's Mr. Cedarland.
Did he raise his hand?
No.
All right, should make sure we're not missing anybody. Okay, my understanding is there's no more public comment. All right. It's hard for me to see that, but there's nobody raising their hand, correct?
No.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move to approval of the agenda.
There's an item that he wanted to add.
Oh, yes, there is, that's right.
They're in the flow, right?
Yep.
You're on the page, front page.
Oh, per adopted, okay, okay, the administrative recommended changes in the agenda, suggested correction, John A. Sherrod, myself, as the Port of Allyn 2025 Chair, and Judy Scott as the Vice Chair. With that additional change, do we have an approval of the agenda?
And the Senate
There's
bill.
also the new business
The
item.
Senate bill.
The new business Senate bill,
We have a-
Oh, the new, yes,
50.
we're gonna add the new business
Yeah,
Senate bill.
it's a Senate bill, draft 5088 tax
Tax.
on utility discussion.
Okay, so those two things.
So I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for the January 13th, 25 of the regular meeting agenda with the previously suggested changes. That means adding the discussion about the Senate bill draft 5088.
Okay,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. It's passed. It's approved. All right. Now on to the consent agenda. We have a motion here.
Sure, I'll make a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes December 9th, meeting minutes December 16th, and then do I need to read all the
No.
general funds? Okay, and then the other, of the fund transfers from Kitsap Bank to the Mason County Treasurer.
I would, though, read the other three ratifications, if you may.
Oh, the ratification of, oh, okay, gotcha. So, and then also the ratification of Commissioner Scott and Director Merrill as signers on the second and final closing, January 10th, 2025, for the Allyn Cary Water System and land purchase. And then the ratification of the DWSRF DOH loan contract signing by Director Merrill. And then the loan repayment from the general fund to the water fund per resolution 2024-015.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Consent agenda is approved, as spoken, as documented. Okay. And then we move on to the commissioners' reports.
Sure, I'll
You want to start?
December 9th, of course, did the port meeting. December 11th through the 13th was the Washington Public Ports Association annual meeting, of which I attended. There's a lot of good things on there, quite numerous. They updated on some of the legislative concerns for the port. I didn't bring that with me. One of the things that was quite interesting, I got the presentation, but it's about the seals, and there was a whole class about that. Lots of really good things. December 18th actually had a party for the port staff and Reed Real Estate. And as you know, Reed just closed. They retired. And so January 9th, via Teams meeting, met with Allyn Firmal and two others from the Department of Ecology and Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group about the voluntary cleanup. We got information about that. And then, of course, we had a port workshop. That's it.
Okay.
I attended the meetings, the workshop, and then also attended the EDC meeting on January 9th.
Okay.
So, and that's pretty much it.
All right. Myself, Commissioner Sheridan, I attended the regular December 9th, 2024 meeting and the special meeting on December 16th. And I attended my regular Mason Transit Authority board meet. And so you know, I'm now the chair for that for 2025. So that's my report. All right. Anything else? All right, executive director report? You want to touch on
Commission
that?
have any questions about the
No.
executive director report for this month? We can just touch on a few things.
Yeah.
Ford trucks definitely needs new tires. We tried to make it through the winter, but we decided that it's not something we want to wait on with the winter season. So we're gonna go ahead and get that taken care of.
I think that's important, safety.
And we had planned on it this year anyway. It wasn't
Okay.
something that, I was just hoping to do it in the next fall, this coming fall anyway. And then the rest of it is pretty much relates to the possible decisions that the commission will make through the old business and new business sections.
Okay.
And some of it was already discussed in our previous workshop. And if I may add one note, WPPA Port Day is on the 30th of January. And if, I've gotten a commitment from Commissioner Scott on going down to the Capitol. If either Commissioner Sheridan or Commissioner Curtin can find time to make it down there, it'd be great. I'm trying to get appointments with our legislators. We can speak to them about future opportunities.
Okay.
That's January 30th.
January
30th.
30th.
Yes.
It's a Thursday.
There's a 5 to 8 p.m. on the 28th for WPPA members to like a reception.
There's 29.
The 29th, yeah, 29th. And then on the 30th, the next day, it starts at 7 a.m. and goes all day.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
But generally, it's pretty important to try to meet with your our
Yes.
legislators, you know, for projects. Like just to finish the oyster houses, you know.
Yeah.
We've got money, but then we may, hopefully we won't, but we may need more, and we just want to keep that on the radar.
And I'll have
And
those
the pier,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I'll have those requests to our legislators in their inbox tomorrow.
Okay. That's good. All right. So, is there anything else you want to touch on, to add anything to your report here?
No, if you'd like, I can always add context to the old business items as we go through them.
Yeah, let's do that. I appreciate that. All right. So let's move on to the old business. Okay? And let's kick it off with you adding some light to that, as you suggested.
So first item of business is the DNR support letter.
Yep.
That's something that you had a chance to look at the workshop. Just looking for a motion for approval, if you'd like to sign it, so that we can send it off for our letter of support to the DNR for their hard work on those programs.
Was that on the website at all? Some of
Yes.
the- Okay, great.
And I have a copy here that will just, if you want to approve it, I can get your wet signatures on it. And I will scan it over to our program manager for the area, Peter Allyn.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the letter of support to the Department of Natural Resource Grant Projects 242281 and 242282 and 242283 and 242396.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye. So, yeah, it's like you said, and why we consent to DNR as a valuable partner. I mean, why would we not? The community benefits what they're doing, so.
Yeah, a lot of these grants go for maintenance of trails, you know, EME support. That's kind of how they operate, is through the grant process, so it's important.
I'll pass this document around for your signature.
All right.
Thank you.
There you go. All right. All right. Let's first order of old business now, the resolution number 2025-001 to limit commissioner compensation. Well, I was struggling with that one. Because, because the message going forward from here as things getting better, I thought, well, go ahead and start accepting compensation, or, would be the message, but I think we have some more work to do, so, I'm going to, deny the stipend again for 2025.
I agreed with you, and
Yeah.
I have a letter for that too, but
Okay.
still, having the extra compensation, let me see, don't they raise?
It is, it's
They raised it.
161 per meeting, where
Yeah.
it used to be 128. And I just want to remind the commission that you did approve a budget with it figured in.
Sure.
So,
I know.
Well, that'll help us along the way.
Yeah, and there's two sides to this coin. One, the message is very clearly that on our watch, we're navigating through to improve, and we're doing just that. But with good conscience, I'm not there yet until probably through the end of 2025. Personally, I was back and forth on it, but I'm totally convicted moving forward to waive the meeting stipends.
Okay.
For
And
myself.
that document is there for your signature.
Yep.
Sign those, and I will scan them into the record.
I do think, just to add to, I think it's important that Michael still get
Yeah.
compensation, because he's a big learning curve.
I agree.
So I just wanted to share that I think
Okay,
that's why.
yeah,
So I support, well, whether we support it or not, right, because it's an individual commissioner choice, but I do support that, because it is, it makes sense, so here.
And then, of course, the resolution, you need a motion if you'd like to pass that.
I'll go ahead and do the motion. I, Commissioner Judy Scott, make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-00, a resolution to limit commissioner compensation. Is that correct? 00?
001.
001.
Says 0, sorry.
Oh,
001, there we go.
thankfully, there's no typo on the actual resolution.
Yes, okay. So anyway,
Okay.
Do you want our hand?
Well, wait, yeah.
Can't sign it till we,
so I
Yeah,
have a motion.
okay, go ahead.
I did a motion.
Okay, that's right, you made the motion to approve commissioner compensation. Do we have a second?
I'll say it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So just clearly, resolution 2025.
Resolution 2025-001. We have a motion to approve that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Hey,
Okay.
Travis, I
it's a-
don't have that document of me waiving the stipend in my, is it, okay, is it just hiding? Oh, it's on the back page of something.
Yeah.
It's on the back
So this
page.
keeps our stipend at the same amount then?
I found it.
Yeah.
Versus
It's
the
on the
rate.
back page of this.
No, it's just to note that that's the previous rate from 2024. It
Commissioner
was
Scott.
still already raised. You were already being paid that
Okay.
anyway.
We got two things going on here.
Okay, because now.
One
it's-
is you found who you're looking for, and then we need this too.
Yes.
Okay.
They increase it every 5 years, Travis.
Yeah,
It's every 5
yeah,
years.
it's every 5 years there's a
So
raise
last
to
year,
it.
but-
All right.
Yeah, 3,800, okay, 64.
There's that.
There we go. All right. Now we're into Part 2 of A, Water System Development, Project Report for Allyn Carey System Consolidation. Okay, there's Commissioner Scott.
Thank you. And you had a chance to review that both at the
Yeah.
workshop and here over the weekend. only change was the amount of ERUs was updated from the 77 to the 90.
That's why I don't really have any further comment on it. I mean, it's good that it's where we're at, and I don't have any points of discussion.
Raising it was good.
All right,
Just a motion to approve for submission, and we'll get it off to the DOH and get the wait time started.
Oh, let me find my,
that's right. There, for the draft.
okay, I make a motion to approve the submission of the project report, oh, that's not it, yeah, the project report for the Allyn Carry System consolidation.
All right,
I'll second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? There are none, so approved. All right. There it is, 3, 4, yeah. No, not staying there. Okay, good. All right. Exploration and drafting of interlock agreement with Yarrick Utilities for data sharing of working drawing. Anybody have any questions or any?
No, because after our discussion at our workshop, it was pretty clear, you know, that we, at least working with Jeff, we kind of had good understanding of what needs to be done. So I have no issues or questions.
Okay,
And this is just a consensus from the commission to continue to go after
Yeah.
these, what that would look like.
yeah, there's no action.
No,
yet.
there's no
It's
action
just-
here. This, and it's clearly, I clearly stated that here in the flow notes here.
Yeah.
It's just basically, it's like a motion, but you're just giving consensus to me to continue.
Well, and even though it goes without saying, we're on the right path, and we covered down on what some of that looks like at the workshop, and I am totally, as a commissioner, consent that we continue on that trajectory.
Yep, and
And moving forward, just the way we're going.
So Chair, go ahead and request him officially.
Huh?
You can go ahead and request
You
him.
want to go ahead and do that?
Well, we did get,
Your Chair, unless you want me to.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I, Judy Scott, request Director Merrill to pursue drafting an interlocal agreement with Yarrick Utilities on data sharing of working utility drawings for later consideration by the commission. Does Director Merrill have the commission's consensus to approve? Yes, we do.
Yes, he does. Can you show me where you're reading that from? All right, part B, all right. I'm not finding that, that's why I had you read it. Sorry. All right, so be it, we'll move forward with that. Are we in full consensus of that? All right.
yes.
Because I don't have that document, but I heard you loud and clear.
It is flow notes.
Just right there. Oh, no, that's a different one.
All right. Excuse me while I try to find something here.
Probably underneath your peachy there.
Under here.
Oh. There it is.
Oh, okay. Well, I need that out, don't I? All right, thank you. All right, yeah, that's a nice guide for where we're at standpoint. All right, so, Subcommittee on Public Water Systems, Duties, Responsibility, and Objectives. You know, since we're on that note for discussion too, we need to make sure in the language that there's no authority given to the committee
Right.
on that. It opens up for a broader discussion that we can have another time on on another matter, it parallels that, the advisory committee. I'm not sure I like that. but
And if I might-
It's a think tank, really, is what it is.
On duties and responsibilities, page 2, right at the end of the operational guidelines, so the underlined portion that I added in there.
All right.
The last passage kind of hits on that, but then the underlined portion makes it a final knowledge that advisory committee only with all final decisions made by the Port of Allyn Board of Commissioners.
Yep. That's it, on page 2.
Yeah, it's on the second page.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm getting it. I'm just reading some other parts to it there. Yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah. See, like where it says ensure that all operation aspects, they're not going to ensure that all operation aspects was adhere to the Washington State Department of Health. That's our job. So so some of the language here, I think we need to look at a little bit closer. That's all. Like a word would be address all operational aspects of the public water system. Address and discuss all operation. You see what I'm saying? Not ensure. That's not their job.
These are objectives, though.
Yeah, not,
Well, but it's still an objective. It's like,
well, I think it's more like they're also there to guide us, to help us ensure that.
well, they're a think tank, and we were looking for people that want to get into the weeds, and we've got them. But we're the ones to ensure that all operational aspects of the public water system are adhered to. We need them to have that discussion and address them, you know, and we just some other language there. That's all. I'd like to.
What would you suggest?
What I just said,
Because you're on paragraph 1.
yeah, I know.
Objectives.
Right.
So that's just what they are, is objectives.
I know, but they're not there to ensure that we. They're there to help it, but
Okay.
that's all. There's some language here that that I need to think about a little bit more myself, but you know.
And if I may, the
Yeah,
intent
right.
was to provide some guidelines for the advisory committee that they could also provide suggestions for changes to the commission. This is kind of a baseline for them to go, okay, we see all this, and maybe we would like to suggest some changes to these guidelines that you're setting forth to us. They haven't even met yet, but we definitely need to have some kind of starting point for them to work from, and that was the intent. We can change the word ensure. Let me,
When is your first meeting?
I intended to reach out after this meeting.
After this was
Yeah,
ratified? Okay,
to start a committee with no guidelines seems,
correct.
Well, they still
Wrong
can.
direction.
You still can. I mean, it's just tightening it up. That's all. So I just don't like the word ensure. So address the boundaries of all operational aspects of the public water system. In adhering to Washington State. I just have to think about this personally, but the language needs to be. We need to be very careful about the
Do
language.
you want to table this?
I would, and I don't mind them meeting, and then still, I would say this is a very good type.
I could change that wording to address the boundaries of all operational aspects.
Yeah, there should be no ensure when it comes to that committee.
Yep.
They don't ensure anything. That's our responsibility. It falls on us.
That note has been made, and that can be absolutely changed.
Okay.
So do you want to try to just add that? Is there anything else, John, that you would like to see, or? Because we could just we could approve these changes.
Yeah, we can
I mean,
approve it now.
down here, there's like address climate change requirements. Now, that's interesting.
That actually was added by Jeff Carey.
Yeah, I know, but,
Because it's part of the
Yeah.
county's comprehensive scheme and
I know.
plan update.
but they're using language that I was thinking about, that's all, but not climate change, the first part of it. Okay, and then, How about instead of saying incorporate resilience, propose down in 3C?
Propose resilience, can do.
I mean, then somebody else, you use propose and long-term planning. Okay, that's good. See, that's more like language, right? Recommend, develop plans for good, I like it. Review and propose and analyze opportunities, recommend, good, provide a sustainable, resilient, community-focused water system. Okay. Sorry, I didn't read this earlier. I like it. We also, as we find, we need to put language in there that at any given time, the commission reserves the right, of course, to modify, edit, or make any changes to the existing objectives of the committee? Somewhere in there? Does it say that somewhere? Did I miss it?
I don't,
I mean,
I don't recall saying that.
it's a
but that-
no-brainer.
That goes without question, of
But
course.
just put it in there. You know, we don't want to hostile anything. So,
Well, this last line kind of covers it, advisory committee only, with all the final decisions made by the Port of Allen Board of Commissioners.
Yeah, right down here.
and commission continues to reserve the right to modify or change any existing purpose of this committee. Okay? So, that just, Laura would say, well, it's better to have it in there or not, so, you know. Anyway, that's my take on it. But those three things, I mean, is everybody good with that? So we got address boundaries, and then I put propose, not incorporate, but
Proposed.
propose, and then at the end was the commission continues to reserve the right to modify and or change any of the purpose of this commission. I mean, not commission, excuse me, of this committee.
Advisory.
Committee.
Yeah, advisory committee.
Yeah,
I can live with that.
sure.
Um,
Okay. What happened?
Oh, we're getting,
internet disconnected.
We have to-
and you just caught, did it just happen, or are we just catching it?
I just noticed it a little while ago, maybe a minute,
Oh,
I don't know.
okay,
In progress.
thank you.
All right, thanks. Well, we have the webcam, so,
Okay.
all right.
So would you like to change those first before we,
I've got all those complete notes.
Okay.
So we can make a motion
Sure.
if you're on
Yeah.
consent
Yep.
with those minor
Changes.
changes, but I find significant.
okay,
Uh,
so are you ready for a motion?
I am.
Yeah?
Are you ready?
Yep, we'll make it.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the duties, responsibilities, and objective provision as a baseline for the Port of Allen Public Water System and Subcommittee with changes,
I'll second it.
proposed changes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? There are none? All right. So moved. All right.
You got that, Travis? Are you still
I do.
working? Okay.
All right. That was that, okay. All right. All right, thank you for your patience on that. All right, now we're going to the Allyn Waterfront Pier repairs.
you have anything on that one?
No, there's no motions or
No.
approvals.
Nothing is up.
Just,
Just continue to work through spending our money on a few aspects there.
so, and spending the grant money,
Right.
of course.
Yeah.
Just make that clear for the record. And where are we at in the mix of it with regard
There've
to?
been so many other tasks on the agenda right now that I hope to progress a little further on railing replacement and getting a bid from, or getting bids on the finger replacement on the main dock down.
So we're waiting for more bids on that. Are you just looking, how many bids do you have right now?
I have 2 on the railings.
Okay. Are you looking to get a third bid?
Yes,
Okay.
just not very many people are doing that type of work right now.
Really?
Yep.
All right. So, and how far along the way are we on the whole repair?
Well, the repair is over.
Huh?
The emergency repairs are to make sure that we don't actually lose the dock have been completed, and we
Yeah.
have been reimbursed for those.
So Travis, if we can't find anybody else right away, would it be wise just to go ahead and choose one of the two?
I need to put it out for,
Small report?
yeah, I need to put out the
Okay.
scope of work.
Okay,
We just have had one local company and Marine Floats
Yeah.
had already done the other work, had provided bids on that already.
Okay.
So,
all right.
that won't take much longer. It's just a matter of sitting down and really going through it. The bids on the finger float repair are gonna take longer because that's
More extensive,
more extensive as permitting.
yeah.
So
Okay.
you're looking at Army Corps, Department of Ecology, all that other
Now,
stuff.
you talking about the railings for part of the emergency repair or the railings up here?
The railings on the entire dock.
They're quarter dock,
Yeah,
okay.
The entire dock.
All right.
They're-
They're railings, all right.
Yeah, they're in pretty bad shape.
I know.
So, there's plenty of money left over to accomplish that, so.
You just gotta find the right people to do it.
Yep, that's it.
All right. So when are you gonna do, you're gonna put it out for a small business, advertise?
Well, I'm gonna advertise it out, to do it in the next couple of weeks.
I know.
I've got some water documents to review and
I know.
there's a lot going on, so.
So I guess, is there anything we can do to help on that? Because I understand it's just a matter of,
I could use a second pair of eyes on those water documents. I can send the contracts to you and have you take a look at those.
why don't you do
Give
that?
any revisions that are possible.
Okay,
That would help that process along.
Okay.
And when it comes to the pier work, there's another aspect to that, and it's getting design work done on future replacement.
okay.
So we would be looking to use some of that money as planned to get a set of plans together that we can use to go after other monies in the future.
Well, yeah, I'll take a look. Call me when you send that email to me, so I know to get right on looking at it.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then I can give you like a 24-hour window where I'm gonna make it happen, or I give you some feedback, right? And then that'll free up you having to feel like you're a lone soldier on that, so you can balance that out with getting those other things done. That's a tough balance for you, but, and then I don't mind you leaning into that a little bit. Whatever I can do on that note, I'll help. Spend some time looking at the water, okay?
Yeah, and like I said, we just got those 3 o'clock today. So.
Okay. Anything else, commissioners, on that?
Not on that, no.
Okay. All right, I'll be looking for that. there.
No, we just got our reimbursements in last week, so they weren't actually in they got transferred today. Yeah. So it was like, what, 32,000 getting transferred?
Yeah, $32.99, I
Yeah.
believe, if my memory serves me.
Pretty big chunk of change.
Good. With it, anything?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
all right,
Okay.
so
Moving
we're
over to the Oyster House.
the Oyster House
relocation.
relocation, your favorite. Yeah. Specifically Leon Environmental LCC Professional Service Agreement.
Correct.
All right.
So in a combination of talking with Peter Leon and I passed along our professional services agreement, and it was a pretty tough pill to swallow. Our professional service agreement is very one-sided. It's very, protects the port 1,000% in my opinion. And well, it's hard for firms like that to want to work for small places when we're that well covered.
Okay.
So there was some recommendations he made, and I know how there's always a little bit of back and forth, but the commission needs to decide, does it really want to go back and forth spending money with lawyers on contracts like this or not? And we've got free review time with our with Endurus, our insurer, and the same things that came back from Endurus when we had them look at the Art Anderson contract were already changed in Peter's contract. I found that his contract was definitely more fair and balanced on both sides. So I provided you Peter's contract, which is the one that's labeled small project consultation contract, and then also our marked up from Peter, our professional services agreement contract. And there was just some stuff in there that, you know, was just a little bit too much in his opinion to be able to go through. And well, that's something for the commission to decide. I am fine with Peter's contract or the marked up version that he made. I felt like it was strongly argued against in the hour-long conversation. Plus, there's an email in there too that details what Peter's reasoning.
Yeah.
Him and Bill have been very forthright, and Bill has a lot of history with this project, so there's a huge passion factor that we need to get over the finish line.
Yeah.
Well, personally, because I've spent so much time with Bill and Peter, that, you know, we've worked together, particularly Bill, and we've had time with them before. I know that it's not, this sounds emotional, but I trust them. They're there for the passion of the Oyster House, and in looking at through this, I didn't see any blatant things that could go awry. Time-wise, we need to get on the stick with this. Again, we're getting close to our funds that need to be utilized, and I'm comfortable with their professionalism, their track record, so I would like to recommend that we go ahead and approve this.
His changes, his
Pardon?
recommended changes.
Yes, with those changes that he wrote in there.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with either contract, to be honest. His contract is simpler and easier to navigate. And the only changes that would need to be made is if there was any type of jurisdiction or attorneys, you know, if we actually had to go to court, it couldn't be in King County, it'd have to be in Mason.
Yeah.
Well,
Which is a change that we made on the other contracts,
Yeah.
which isn't a problem.
so the scope, I mean, that's what I was gonna ask, is that with this dragging along like it has, we haven't lost any of the grant money. thus
No,
far.
but it's
Yeah.
about to be.
Yeah,
I know, that's my point. So, and also, are we within, how much is left? In terms of-
438,000, it does say in your,
Okay.
in the executive director's report.
Okay, that's okay. So what I'm really driving at is, because from where we're at to finish with this, we still gonna be able to cross the finish line with the grant money we currently have.
I hope so.
Well,
Right?
the biggest problem is time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time to process all through this, and that grant money has to be reappropriated or it needs to be spent by June of 2025.
Okay, by June, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
And with the current state of Olympia and the amount of money that they're trying to come back up with this talk of being billions of dollars in the hole, I think it's going to be difficult to ask them to reappropriate money that they spent that they didn't have.
Well, I'm not even asking that question, like, I hate to
yeah.
even consider that, right?
Sure.
But can we get this done by June with the current money? So is this enough money to get it done, or are we?
Well, that's what we're trying to
figure
One of
out.
the things that I got approached with is that originally we wanted to send it way over the water.
Yeah, we're backing off
But
on
because
that.
of, Army Corps and all that other
Yes.
stuff. So what they're trying, but we lost mitigation because the state changed their rules.
Okay,
So they're also trying to get us to have the ability to mitigate, have the mitigation credits so that we can put it back over the water
okay.
and then, get this done. Because again, we lost the mitigation, so trying to do that. That's
Okay.
one of the things they're trying
And
to
there
do.
is a chance that mitigation may be returned to us, and as soon as we've come to contractual agreement with them, they've got the documents ready to send off to find out if it can.
So, and at that point, in moving forward, really the question is, let's just do this and see if we can still get that done over the water, but if we can't, we still do it. Is that right?
Well, that's kind of what we need to do.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So whether we get the full meal deal on this because they change things or not, I mean, I would just say we're gonna take what we can get at that point.
Yeah, I think that we can, though. I
Okay.
mean, as long as we can get this expedited, as much as we can.
Okay,
And even if we have to pull it back, that's okay, as long as it gets moved, and then we can get volunteers to come in and finish it,
okay,
because that's originally what we were going to
Okay.
do anyway. But to get it moved, to get it back over the water, get a few pilings put in, I think it'll be enough. At least that's my thought. But they will clarify a lot. They aren't engineers, but they are the ones that can get the permitting to get the job started, to get it back over the water.
I suggest we accept their version of the contract to move forward,
well, that's,
so we can get this done.
I'm good with, well, let's see, do we have a motion on the table?
Well, we can sure get one.
Okay,
Okay, I make a motion to approve the contract with Leon Environmental LLC for the professional services on the Sergeant Oyster House project.
all right, do we have a second on that?
With his
Yeah, his contract.
company. I'll
With
second.
his contract,
Okay.
with the contract we have here present. Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All- Aye. All opposed, there are none. Motion approved. Leon Environmental LLC, okay. All right.
Port safety.
Yeah, Port Safety and Security. Commission consensus on Commissioner's Curtin volunteering equipment and time for parking lot porthole filling.
So you just need a consensus on it?
Yeah, just so
Okay, we agree, go for it, right?
Yeah, no,
I didn't feel comfortable having one commissioner start to
Yeah.
do work without the other commissioners publicly agreeing to it, so.
that's a good word, volunteering. And you're gonna be signing something that says if you hurt yourself.
Yeah, and that's the thing is
I need to sign the non.
yeah, you'll have to approve that liability, waiver of liability and assumption of risk form so that you can sign that to do the work. Because
Okay,
it was only approved for just the volunteer work on the Sweetwater parcel.
all right. Do we have a motion to approve the waiver of liability for Commissioner Curtin?
Is that's just a request, right? Is it a motion?
Yeah, because we have to.
No, you don't, it's just a request for consension.
Well, I request it, and let's do that. And I consent to that.
Okay.
You doing that. Thank you for doing it, by the way.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Commissioner.
okay. Oh, that's why I brought my calendar. Okay, the next is setting of time and date for a monthly commissioner workshop briefing.
If I might,
Yeah.
put a little blurb in there
What is
underneath
it?
there. I would request that we skip the workshop for the month.
Okay,
You can see that I have a multitude of tasks at hand to try to get processed through so that we can get some things
Honestly,
moving.
Sure.
yeah, no, honestly, we're gonna be doing that here and there because the workshop is a nice target for us. To you getting the because in part, you're getting the feedback that you want from us adding a workshop, which actually builds your workload too, because you're getting direction. And on top of, with or without that, you already have a handful, but then with that direction, you're getting you're getting a workload that adds to it. I just get that. So I'm okay with skipping that.
Me too.
And then,
Because we can communicate.
And if we need a special meeting for approval of a document or so, we can always schedule a Zoom meeting for that small document approval.
that's true. You know, there's no reason to.
It takes me several hours to build a meeting for
Yeah, I
it.
know it does.
And that just takes me away from
Okay.
doing pier work or doing
Right.
oyster house work.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that quite a bit, actually, because you're looking at it from a real practical standpoint. And I hope the workshops are benefiting you as much
Oh,
as I.
absolutely.
And I think that's the whole point of why you got a lot, pretty good direction. And then, let's see that, so we will not be having a workshop between now and the next,
Yeah, and the next meeting is
Meeting.
February 10th.
Yeah.
So we're still,
okay.
it's less than a month technically.
Yeah, it really is. Okay. All right, I'm good with that, commissioners. Okay.
I'm good with it.
We're going to support him as much as we can, and then just reach out to me with that email, and I'll help you with that. One issue, big issue. Okay, new items, possible action items. Discussion of possible action regarding settlement agreement with Cedarland Home LLC, Batchack Holdings LLC, and J&J Development LLC. So let's have a little discussion about that.
I read through.
I read through it as well. Without further ado on part of getting into details with the attorney-client privilege of our executive, I would just like to add that I think it's a really good direction. As one commissioner in the agreement that both our council and the Cedarlands Council has come to terms with. And did you have anything you want to add to that?
No, after discussing it with our council, I'm comfortable with this settlement agreement. I think it's a good step in the right direction. And
All right. And did you have anything you want to add to that,
No.
Commissioner?
Yep,
All right.
it pretty much,
The contract is, spent quite a bit of effort to get the contract to be what it is, and I'm just happy that, that both sides are willing, that the other side is willing to agree, and I'm happy with it myself. So do we have a motion on the table?
Yeah, it's part of the floor notes there.
Yeah.
so I make a motion to approve the settlement agreement for the Cedarland Homes LLC and the Port of Allyn Water Services on Block 61 lots. The Port of Allyn Commission empowers Executive Director Merrill to sign on behalf of the Port of Allyn Board of Commissioners.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None are opposed. So, motion approved.
Okay, so this is,
All right.
so,
I was just gonna-
yeah, I need to sign that there, and then I can fill out the rest of those. And if I might, I will, I didn't have enough time to incorporate the action request form for everything, but this is the new action request form when we do actions, so that we have a paper copy of your actions,
Oh, okay.
just for the record.
Oh,
And then
interesting.
it gets signed by the secretary of the commission, which is Michael,
Yeah. Oh, cool.
to be signed into the record.
Oh, I like that. Did you get that from the WPPA by any chance? or-
No,
That makes-
Tim provided those
Oh,
as
that
a
makes sense.
suggestion. So,
Okay.
I just ran out of time, otherwise I would have provided these for each of the other actions I was requesting.
That's a good chain of,
And it's very similar to the way the county operates.
okay,
They do request forms for actions.
okay. All right. All right, so, we'll go ahead and move forward with the Senate Bill Draft 5088 tax on utilities discussion. Before we move into whether approve or not.
And if I may,
Yeah, go ahead.
the context behind that is that I received an email today from the WPPA saying that a lot of their members were up in arms about this particular draft Senate bill.
Really?
And the gist of it is that if passed, the county could enforce utility companies to charge up to 3% on their gross income, which would be would not be nice to our constituents and people who work on or pay on our water system. It would be a 3% raise across the board unless we were willing to suck it up, and we know that that's not something that we can do. There was a planned public hearing on it on the 17th, but I got word a few hours later after receiving the email that they had canceled it for whatever reason.
They did?
Yes, they canceled the public hearing on this particular bill. So Carly Michaels, who passed it over to me from the WPPA, said she'd keep me in the loop, and I told her I would pass along the commission's thoughts on that bill. It's actually got attached to number 5 on your packet,
Yeah.
and there's not much to it. There's really only 6 provisions to it, but the key portion is subject to the conditions and requirements of this section. The legislative authority of any county may impose an excise tax on the privilege of engaging in business as a utility. So we would be the one engaging in the business of a utility. The tax is equal to the gross income of the utility derived from providing service to consumers within the county multiplied by the rate imposed by the legislative authority. Now, the county may not impose a tax that exceeds 3%.
Okay.
And this would still have to be approved by our Board of County Commissioners before it would be excised upon us. So I just don't see our current Board of County Commissioners doing that, but
No,
that's
you're
not, for me to speculate in a sense. My only speculation is that I'm personally opposed to this because I don't want to see this become an issue when we have a different Board of Commissioners and they decide they may want to raise those taxes.
I mean, other than just a money grab here, I mean, what is the gist of what's their justification for trying to do this? Do you
Money
know?
grab.
It feels like a money grab. So.
Yeah, it's like,
And this was actually brought forth by a state senator out of the it's up Pacific counties. It's Jefferson, Clallam,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and parts of Gray Harbor.
Up there, okay.
Yeah, all the way the whole tip of the peninsula. So we border
Right.
that county. So I mean that's a very rural area in itself. So
You know why they're coming with this stuff.
well,
So I know that from my conversations with the WPPA representative that most, if not all, of the ports are pretty opposed to it.
Well, if you need a statement from us, you can say that we're opposed, I think, you know.
I'll agree with that, we're opposed to it.
well, I am too.
Yeah, and I will relay that sentiment to our WPPA representative, and
So like people aren't paying
they
enough
will
money.
use that to consider how they're going to weigh in, but it felt like that they're not going to weigh in favorably on this at all.
Well, you just, I
I'll let
think
them
every
know.
government entity needs to do a better job. Probably a pretty broad brush to paint, but do a better job of being a good steward of taxpayer dollars and make it work better rather than more money because
agree.
more money doesn't solve a problem, it's just more
waste.
more waste. Yeah, I would agree with that.
What really got my blood boiling personally on this was provision 5 is that a county may provide exemptions for sales by utilities to business customers such as manufacturing facilities, aircraft repair facilities, industrial parks, industrial facilities, farm businesses, and and computer data centers. So, I mean, the majority of those are the ones that are making the most money off
So
of
the Washington.
consuming those utilities.
So the Washington Port is looking for feedback from the individual ports, and then they'll get a feel for where the individual ports are at, and then they'll probably put something together that vastly represents the port's feedback.
Absolutely.
So
And
basically,
that was their
they're
intent by asking me.
They're exempting all the ones that actually use most of the utilities, and the ones you're gonna be paying for it is the average person.
That's what it feels like, correct?
Average taxpayer.
And
That's ridiculous.
I don't know what the method of the madness was here, but legislation has to be, you have to watch it real careful, because they'll do things and then the attitude is, well, oh, you didn't know about it?
Yeah.
No, that just happens. So I'm glad that we're aware of this and we can push back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Sure, I will relay the sentiment of the commission to the WPPA.
Just noted.
I mean, just one more note, I mean, I was not aware of that. And so if you hadn't brought that to our attention, which
Right.
is a real healthy thing as a body here.
And that's a lovely part about being a part of the WPPA, because they're the ones that brought it to my attention.
Yeah, I mean, there's a legislative alerts that I used to have on my phone, but it's crazy. So I'm glad that we got another watchful eye there, so that's all I can say. All right, so the next matter
Moving on to the financial position report.
yeah, financial position reports. We've got actionable items A, B, C, and D.
First, we have Erin with her report.
Let's do that first. Thank you, Aaron.
Okay, so this month I did some color coding for our report. I'm sure everybody had a chance to look at that and kind of understand what the columns mean, and if we need to make changes on the columns, we can talk about that. But we did end the year, and then also Travis and I had a conversation where we're separating the general fund and the water fund, so it's a little bit easier to see, not double-sided, where you're flipping pages back and forth, looking in which is the start, which is the end. So hopefully these small changes will help, but also, as always, open to suggestions.
Okay.
We did end the year, and this is also kind of a weird one because we're kind of straddling 2 years. We're looking at the end of 2024, but then we're also looking ahead 2025. So next month may look a little bit different. But
Okay.
we did end the year a little bit less than we had the updated budget that we did in the spring. We didn't quite get there, but I think we're still doing great compared to where we were at this time last year.
Yes.
One thing I talked to the county about that, I don't know if it's something we want to look at. I noticed when we do make investment interest, it goes to cash. So we're never actually getting like the compound effect of interest. So I talked to Julie about that, and it's a simple transfer each month. So we're take it back out of cash, put it in the investment account. That way we're actually gaining interest on the interest that we made. So she said it's not a difficult process, but
Do you need something from us to make that? I didn't know we didn't do
sure.
it.
I know, I kind of was like, well, this seems silly.
I
not
have
to-
access to that, looking at it, but I haven't caught that. So is that something you need from us
I
to?
don't know if we need to, or if it's just something if you.
I think if it's on a transfer level, we just need to have the transfers available for them to review
Yeah, I could
each
just
month.
give you the
Okay.
information.
So we just
but-
plan ahead those transfers before our meetings,
Okay.
and then they'll be in the packet for review.
That's really good because there's
And-
quite a
and
bit of
then
money
That
goes.
way you can see where the money's being moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Every
I'll
little
start
bit
doing
helps. Thank
that.
you.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Um,
Aaron, one question, when you were talking about the end of year totals, was it accounting for that big deposit that we just received?
no,
the
so
third-
that went in January. So we'll
Right.
see that next month.
Right,
So
so-
yeah, that will.
So
that will
because
help.
it took them so long to get it in there, it would have shown up on our end of year totals.
That's probably true. Yeah.
So it'd have been 30,000 more for our
More.
end of year totals.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
Which would bring us back into our level where we were supposed to be, I assume.
Yeah,
If not
in the
more.
general fund, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So general fund, that's a good point, if it had gone in 5 days
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah,
it
if it had
would've
gone
looked
5
good.
days earlier,
Yeah,
the report would actually shown far more favorable on the amount of money left over at the end of the year.
so there's that.
So we're actually making quite a big
Yeah.
dent
Yeah.
in our,
And then the only other thing, just to bring attention to, is in the budget for 2025, there was, for the water fund, some capital reserve. The water fund, we are probably gonna need to look at doing some sort of transfer, registered warrant, we're not quite sure, in the next month or two. So the capital reserve, I just kind of keep pushing off until there is surplus funds, although I should say, it does sound like maybe there's gonna be some
There will be.
Yes,
service
yeah.
connection fees coming in, so I take back what I said, maybe we'll be okay.
And then we can even do it because we know that we need to have that transfer in there in the general fund from the cost of operating on the general fund side, that you might have some suggestions on. We don't need to be like super aggressive about it, even though we want to be right around 15%-ish, I think is what the number we came up with.
Yes.
Which is can be quite significant, but we don't want to hurt either side.
Right.
Because that is the target for now until we figure out exactly what that looks like coming into 2025.
Yes, yeah, that's where I kind of, on my way here, was thinking is, last year we were kind of, not the right word, babying, but the general fund. Now this year we're kind of babying the water fund, where
Right.
they both need to kind of be able to stand on their own, pay their portion of the administrative costs or the
I mean, are we
overhead
ready to
costs.
take the scab off and just move that direction? Because there is a cost that we're carrying on that side that needs to be part of the water fund, right?
Yeah, and the payroll is about 25% water fund, 75% general. So the 1585 I think is okay, but the payroll does come out about between 20 and 25%.
Well,
water
yeah,
fund.
so I'm looking at the big number, right? So it'd be a lot less in terms of, let's use using the copy machine for this and that versus the actual payroll side. But between the different moving parts from the operational standpoint of the port, in tagging the cost that needs to be billed to the water system,
Right.
I'm curious of what you come up with, but it should be around 15%, I think.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Any questions?
All right, thanks, no. Thank you, Aaron, and doing a good job. Keep it up. All right, so that's a big. Got it, so, here we go, so payment of the general, so B, C, and D.
I'll make a motion to,
You have
payment-
to read out the voucher numbers.
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Make a motion for payment B, C, D, payment vouchers, which are, B is the general fund voucher 250100011 to 250100038 for $22,605.52. C, payment of payroll vouchers 250100001 to 250100010 for $16,112.04. D, payment of water fund vouchers 250100039 to 250100049 for $20,248.86.
All right,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Okay, so in order to save myself about 20 minutes,
Okay.
I am going to ask the commission to just start wet signing the vouchers so I don't have to go up and
No problem.
do the whole digital signature on all of them.
That's no problem.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
I'll just pass them down one at a time so we don't get
Okay.
out of sync here.
Yeah, that'd be better.
And it's something that I was going to go forward with anyway, starting this year, is just if we have something that needs to be signed at a meeting, that you sign it. And the only time we would use a digital signature going forward is if one of you was on Zoom and we had to sign something.
Sure.
I get it.
We used to do that for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but these are,
Some things don't, some habits die hard, right?
well, this is okay. Takes 5 minutes to do this instead of going up there and taking half an hour. Which is probably more accurate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Let's do it again later. All right, so,
In the order?
yeah, we've gone through quite the gamut here tonight. And it's for the good of the order. Do you have anybody that,
I'll make one remark. I don't know if everybody has heard, but Belinda Alexander, who does all of our cleaning, here about a month and a half ago, she lost her home.
Oh, no.
It burned down.
Oh, dear.
And she's,
Can we help?
she's actually doing surprisingly okay with it. It actually has opened up an opportunity for her to log the property and get some improvements done. And, you know, she sounds like she's going to just be doing the whole RV style thing with a connection. And it's going to allow her to get a well in for her horses. So
Oh, great.
Belinda's been doing the cleaning here for years. And I used to work with her former husband, Jeff Alexander, in the construction business.
Wow.
But prayers and thoughts for her. And
Yeah.
she's,
sorry to hear that.
She's a very resilient woman.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that.
did you know her, have some history?
No, not
'Cause I
really.
didn't.
Yeah, I didn't really know her all that well.
Okay,
Yeah, she's more of a Kitsap County horse.
okay.
Yeah.
She's had horses as long as you've had horses.
All right.
All her life?
Yeah, all her life. Yeah.
Isn't that how that works?
Yeah.
When'd you get the horse addiction?
Well, sorry to hear that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have good in the order?
I wonder if you'd allow me to finish my comment?
Yes, you can finish. Normally, the good of the order is for the team up here in the commission, but you had asked me before, and I'm, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate it. First, I wanted to commend the commission for your resolution about stipends. When I served on the North Mason School Board, none of the directors took stipends, and I appreciate why you're doing it, how you feel about it. And I also appreciate, Mr. Curtin, that you're taking this back. It's a commissioner.
Yes, I'm glad he is.
Commissioner's choice. I did have a question about the director's reports. Judy, you mentioned that you had met with the Department of Ecology and the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group. I would just ask that, since I was the constituent that brought this to your attention, I'd like to attend some of those meetings. I don't know if you're the designated person to deal with that for the port, but
So, as far as, I just want to be careful here. So, as far as protocol for good of the order, allowing you to speak, because I told you that you could make public comment.
Yeah.
That's something that you can definitely follow up with Mr. Merrill on the phone with. In other words, we're not going to open this up for discussion. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
No, I just throw it out there.
But I'm also not, I'm not saying yay or nay. What I am saying is because you can do.
Okay, and then there was one part of the commissioner meeting that I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay.
But I didn't hear Mr. Curtin's report about what he's been doing over the last month.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Did you mention that you had gone up on the Sweetwater property with Mr. Merrill?
No, I didn't
Do you
mention
remember what
that.
day that was?
Yes, it was Saturday.
Just this last Saturday?
Yes.
After the meeting?
We didn't have a meeting on Saturday.
No, after you had a special meeting on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just this last Saturday?
Yeah, I went back up there again or went up there because I wanted, before I met with you, I wanted to have him show me around and show me what
Okay.
was there. And then when I talked to you, you said no need to meet. So, okay.
I mean, that's one of the first things
Okay.
I did when I got here was walk the properties.
Right.
Because it's good to know.
And I wanted, he had maps and everything, and I wanted to know exactly what was going on.
Oh, okay.
And so,
Fine, I just,
That way I-
just was curious. Let me finish my comments then from earlier. It just helps to clear my head. I left off where the memorandum of agreement, in my opinion, has been breached more than once, and it's past time to terminate. It's also time to remove the project from the port's comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements. For the last 8 years, I've provided comments regarding the property still being on the Department of Ecology's contaminated site list. the necessity of demolition and asbestos permits, and the hazard tree situation. The asbestos issue resulted in fines. I believe any new trail construction or hazard tree removal will involve compliance with Mason County Resource Ordinance and Mason County environmental permits and hazard tree falling permits. I believe the buffer for Sweetwater Creek is 150 feet. There is an existing usable trail on the property, and I think it would be appropriate to consult with the neighbors in the North Mason School District. There have been several hazard trees that have fallen from school district property onto the port property in the last year. When the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group tried to get an access agreement and a waiver of liability last year, I requested a meeting with Director Merrill. He showed me a map as justification for their access agreement, and I pointed out to him that the stream is depicted in the wrong location and that the RCI, the remote site incubator, is not located on port property. It's located on school district property, and the Salmon Enhancement Group had trespassed. Consequently, they didn't get an access agreement. Please note that WashDOT is scheduled to remove and replace culverts on Highway 3 very soon. 3 upstream fish barriers on port and school district property should be removed as well. And please share this with your attorney and insurance company if you would.
Thank you, Mr. Busker. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for allowing me to.
Yeah. Normally I won't do that in good order, but I just thought it was
Well, I thought it was
you're pretty
important.
passionate about it, and I understand that, and you wanted to do justice to it, so appreciate it.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks for letting me.
And
I'm glad you know.
all right,
Please share it with
all right. Well, anything else to go to the order? Go ahead.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.